Hi, my name's Tony Henry, and I participate in a forum called horseforum.com, and there was a question asked recently from a person who had a hard time bridling the horse that they had recently purchased because the horse kept raising his head. And so I gave a little instruction on there regarding how to properly bridle a horse and thought I'd do a video to demonstrate it. Now, this horse is a 20-year-old registered quarter horse gelding, and he's had all this training before, so I don't have a problem with his head. But when a horse raises its head, and you have a problem bridling the horse, part of the problem is he's never been taught to lower his head for you. A horse should lower his head to about this height, maybe a little lower, so that you can easily reach to bridle him. Now, the way to teach a horse to do that is put your hand on top of the head, put a little weight on the bridle, and give it a little pressure until the horse drops his head. And when the horse drops his head even the slightest amount, giving just a little bit, you immediately release the pressure and give him a rub. So that when he begins to learn, when I do this, he's being a little obstinate. There we go. Gave him a little bit. I give him a good scratch, and he begins to understand that when I put my head up there, I want him to drop his head. Now, it may take days, several hours, to get him to where he does that reliably. You want to do it repeatedly, but don't keep doing it for more than 15 or 20 minutes because the horse will get frustrated about it. But when you touch your hand up here, the horse should lower his head for you, just like that. Now, this is a bridle with a curb bit. Now, any type of bit will work, or this type of bridling is proper for any type of bit, any type of bridle. Now, when you're first going to bridle a horse, get the reins out of the way so you're not stepping on them. Make sure you have some control of the horse. What you're going to do is you're going to put your forearm and hand on top of the horse's neck. That elbow on top of the neck gives you some control of the horse. Next, bring the bridle up. Whoops, throat latch is done. Make sure the throat latch is undone. Next, bring the bridle up, capture his nose with the cheek pieces, and take it in your thumb, with your thumb, like this. You've got your arm up here on top of his head. He's lowered his head. Now cradle the bit in your hand, like this. You notice where the chin strap is. The chin strap is out of the way, so it slips under his... Come back here, buddy. So it slips under his chin. Bring it down over. Now watch this hand up here. I bring the bit in front of his lips with my hand right in front of his lips. You see where my thumb is right there. And I will lift with this hand until the bit comes into his lips, and then I will insert, see if you can zoom right here. I will insert my thumb right here in the side of his mouth, right there in his gums, and tickle his tongue a little bit. When I do that, he'll open his mouth, and I gently slide the bit into his mouth by lifting my wrist. Now that we're at this point, we have some control. So from here, I will reach my left hand through and grab his offside ear and pull it through the headstall. And then I'll do the same thing with his near side ear. I'll reach in and just bring it through, or tuck it through with my thumb right here. The next thing to do is to make sure that your brow band is in place and not down here covering his eye. And make sure that your throat latch is loose over here. Bring the throat latch under and buckle it. Normally there will be a line on the horse's bridle, on the throat latch, where the horse is normally, or where the throat latch is normally set. The way you tell, now the throat latch should be loose. The only purpose for the throat latch is to keep the headstall from falling off over the horse's head. If it should, there should be some branch grab it or something. Stick your fist in it like that. If you can comfortably stick your fist in there, it's tight enough. If you can't stick your fist in it, loosen it a couple of notches. That is the way to properly bridle a horse. Now I'm going to show you the way to unbridle a horse without banging his teeth and without making him uncomfortable. First off, you're going to undo the throat latch. Next, your hand comes up on top of his head and says, lower your head. Put your thumb underneath the top of the of the headstall and slip your lower hand underneath his mouth, just like we did putting it on. Now slip the headstall over his ears and drop the bit into your hand. I still have control on top of his head so he doesn't lift his head up and throw his head out of the way like some horses want to do. If he does spit the bit out and try to run, keep control of him, make him put his head back down, and then release the bit. That's the way to properly bridle and unbridle a horse. Thank you.